How are you?
Let me see these rings. Can we get a shot of this?
Got my rock. Let me put my rock away.
Yeah.
Okay. Look, how fun.
Well, Cyndi, you're always known for being creative, so you're continuing that.
You can't give that up.
Well, you know, I never was a fan of my hands, so I put stuff on it to make it look...
You know what? I'm not either, and right now my nails aren't even polished. But
Mine
maybe
either.
that's the, yeah,
I know.
that's the trick,
it's a little early. Yeah. Well, actually, it's not. It could be earlier, but it's not.
Well, welcome to Chicago.
Thank you.
And
so
thank you for bringing Kinky Boots for the world premiere to open up right here in our city. Why here and not New York?
Oh, well, they always go out of town, but this is a beautiful city that loves culture. There's so much culture here, and theater, and art, and architecture, and you know, it's just a really, nobody ever talks about how pretty this city really is. It's really pretty.
It's gorgeous.
Really
We talk about it all the time because we're here and we just admire our city for just being here, because we drive and we see the lake and Lakeshore Drive and Michigan Avenue. But it's nice when people who are not from here recognize it and put it on the stage. You're putting it on the world stage.
Well, it's pretty exciting. The play. We just did a kind of semi-live audience last night. Well, it was a live audience. Friends, family, and, you know. Last I checked, they were alive. No, and it was really wonderful to see. And oh my God, Billy Porter is in it, and Stark Sands from American Idiot, and it's to me, you know. Of course, I'm sitting there like, you know,
this is my baby.
And Harvey, even he was, you know, had a little tear in his eye. No, it's a wonderful. It's a little story with a big heart. It's about a guy, well, two guys, most unlikely friends that you can find, and they come together and they save a factory in the town of Northampton, England. It's a real story. That's the other thing. Of a guy who thought outside the box. You know, you hit a brick wall, you go around it. And this one, he found something that would save the factory, and he did, and all the jobs. And in a time like now, when everybody is struggling, it's a great story because he succeeded.
Right.
And I think the best thing about the story is, besides it's fun, is that it's about changing your mind. You know, and there's a line in it, you know, that Harvey had about changing your mind, and it's in the song, you change the world when you change your mind.
Right. It's about being tolerant, about being open-minded, because Kinky Boots really has a direct meaning in it. It's making shoes for a drag queen.
Well, yes, well, then I'm a drag queen too, because I like my kinky boots myself.
I was going to say, are these kinky, is this what you consider kinky boots? I like those boots.
Not quite, they're a little conservative.
Yeah, those are conservative, but they're nice.
So you've been able to kind of reinvent yourself in so many different ways. I mean, from the 80s megastar with the 50 million records, saw you win an Emmy as an actress. How do you continue to kind of balance everything, and what do you find most joy in?
Well, with the music, I still do a lot of singing, obviously, and the last project was the Blues Project, and that turned out to be very successful for a blues album. It sold, it was the best-selling blues album of 2010.
Memphis Blues.
So it was pretty amazing, but I did that because I was writing the play, and I didn't want to separate myself and start writing something else. I've been writing this play with everybody for like 4 or 5 years, so I wanted to keep it pure. And I'm very excited about my collaborators. Of course, Jerry Mitchell is the director, and he's fantastic, and he's also a wonderful choreographer, so it has a lot of dancing, and Harvey is hysterical, so obviously it's funny, and yet it's thoughtful and it makes you think. So, you know, it's one of those, I've never been around the block before with this, and it's wonderful to be, you know, walking through it with Harvey Fierstein and Jerry Mitchell. I couldn't ask for a better team, You know, I was very lucky. And I think that you should always diversify. I mean, I wanted to write a book for a long time. I wanted to do stuff on Broadway, but in the 80s, if I did anything on Broadway, they wouldn't have you back on the radio. So I didn't want to give that up. And now I get to do more of what I want. I wanted to write a book. Well, that took a long time. I never meant everything to come out at the same time. Right now, it's the book, the play, the reality show.
But you really get into some real heavy things in the book, from being sexually assaulted by a band member, your stepfather. What made you go so deep into this and being such an open book for folks at home?
Well, I think everybody has a book in them. I think it's important to keep a journal. As far as my background in the childhood thing, well, let's talk about statistics. It's 1 in 4. So I'm one of the 1s in 4, but it's sadly a very common story. So it's good to at least be open about it and not try and be like, I'm one of the ones. But for me, I wanted to put everything down to let people know, because I always heard, oh, well, life dealt me a bad hand. Well, I didn't want that bad hand ever to beat me.
Right. You didn't want it to define you.
Well, no, you define yourself.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for stopping by, Cyndi. We wish you much success and continued success.
Do you ever get sick of people talking about girls just want to have fun?
But they do, and it was, you know what? I'm so grateful to have done that. I was so grateful to do the video and make sure that all of us were in it, so every girl, no matter who she was, saw herself and knew that she was entitled.
That's right.
And that's what it was about. So the joy of it, I hope it does continue, and I am so glad to be a part of it.
I think we should have the audience sing us out to break after Ryan reads his text. Why not, right? Are you going to stay in town for the whole 5 weeks this year?
Yeah, well, not the whole 5 weeks, but a long time.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Well, Kinky Boots opens tomorrow at the Bank of America Theater, and we have all the details on our website. You can also check out her book, Cyndi Lauper, a memoir. But Cyndi wants to share both the book and the show with everyone in the audience, so you're getting both. All right.